Yeah, hi people, me again, obviously. Moreno Ravenberg is always Andrew as usual. Yeah, as you can tell from the header, in this video I'm briefly going to discuss essentially an extension, but a considerable extension to a video I did 3 years ago, specifically April the 14th, if I'm not mistaken. Either way, April 2020. So 4 years ago, okay, three going on 4 years ago, or something in between, like 3.5 years. Called Places Have Real Names. You can find that either linked to the description or wait until the end screen of this video. Now, long story short, in that video I simply discussed that places in the astral plane or across the astral realms have different names than in the material plane. So the name of a country, for example, like the US isn't called the US in the astral plane. The US has a name that spirits use or entities use in general to refer to. So we're talking about the territory, the geographical territory uh, that that we know in the material world as the US, the United States of America. Again, don't get things confused. Not North America, because that would include Canada. Specifically the US, officially as its borders are drawn, that area has an astral name, if you want a real name to put it that way. Okay, a real name only in a matter of speaking. Point in case is that, listen, in the material world, the physical world, we call it the United States of America, but in the astral plane, a general name applicable across all astral realms, including the Savira, more or less, generally speaking. Every astral plane, just in the plane spirit world, it has a real name. So, an actual, what am I saying, an actual name? A name, an astral name, okay? It has a name that is substantially different from the material name that is given to it in the material plane that we know it by. And I simply use my mind delving technique for the sake of formality. Like I said, this is all speculation in the sense that it has no real practical benefit for anyone, an occultist or even let alone the average person. The thing is that if you were to use the actual spiritual names when working with the spirit, for example, then the spirit would more easily understand you, but not enough to the point where it's worth it. You can compare it to just speaking plain English or speaking Hebrew or speaking Enochian in your magical practice. It is, I mean, yeah, it will see to an improvement, but not nearly enough to the point where it's worthwhile. I was told that essentially, if you were to use the astral names, so the quote-unquote actual names of locations in the world, for whatever reason, you have a target or you have an objective in mind that involves you having that involves a specific country. If you were to use that name, then it would be the working as a whole would have an increased level of potency of 10 to 15%. But as you can tell or see, it's obvious or evident that it's low to the point where it's impractical, not necessary at all. The same thing that, for example, if you want to learn Enochian, as in the language of the angels, when engaging in workings with spirits, they would tell you that, yeah, it's nice, but not necessary really. It's impractical. I mean, it would be an improvement, but not a minor improvement at best. So again, overall, it's definitely not worth going through the trouble for. I'm simply recording this video and I'm about to impart wisdom and information upon you guys the way I always do. Because this is more of a quote-unquote fun subject, but not something that has any serious merit in terms of practicality. No. This is more, like I said, this is speculation more. It's interesting to discuss something like this. Again, like I said, check the end screen for that video. Not a lot that I say in the video, or wait until check the end screen or check the description of this video. One of the two or both. It's not a big deal, honestly. This video was simply an extension of that one, but a considerable extension, might I add. Because like I said, I use my mind delving techniques to find out what the astral names are. Again, the quote-unquote real names, the actual names of, so names in the astral plane applicable to all spirit realms that certain countries have. And hold on, let me see. You can also find these in the description of this video, what I'm about to say. I checked a couple of countries, 4 countries in total, just for no specific reason, honestly. These countries just metaphorically, impulsively came to mind. The USA has the name Kalizi. I'm not kidding. Some people that are familiar with Game of Thrones might laugh because it sounds a lot like Khaleesi, the name given to Daenerys Targaryen, but ignore that. So the USA, its astral name that spirits know it by is Kali-Z, Kali-Z. That's how it's pronounced, Kali-Z. Canada has the name Alompi or Alompey. Not kidding. Alompi. That's how spirits call Canada. So essentially Canada and the US would be Alompi and Kali-Z. Makes sense. For me, it makes sense. Sounds okay. Alompi or more practical Alompey. Alompey. You can use both. It's all good. Australia, NetZ or NetZ. 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 But bear in mind, not the islands, okay? The big landmass that we know is Australia itself, because Australia, if I'm not mistaken, as a commonwealth, Australia also has like minor outlying islands and whatnot. Now we're referring to like the big chunk that we know when you look at a map, you look at Google Maps, you look at any map, physical map or otherwise, you know, that actual giant landmass Australia. The small outlying islands have a different names, but Australia, NetZ, NetZ or NetZ. And last but not least, the Netherlands, Almpii or Almpii, 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 so Almpii or Ampii, Ampii, Ampii or Almpii. Generally speaking, the pronunciation stays the same. So just plain Ampii, Ampii. So yeah, USA, Canada, Australia, Netherlands. Kali-Z, Alompey, NetZ, and Almpii. There you go. See you guys later. Bye.